Coin on.
Hey there, YouTube coin community. It's Dustin with CoinOp, and today we are going to take a look at coins that you can find while coin searching that are worth well over $1,000. So let's dive right on in. Okay, we are going to start this video off by taking a look at the 1969S double die obverse, 1969S San Francisco Mint double die obverse Lincoln Cent. This is the FS101. This is the king of modern Lincoln Cent double dies. Most people who do know of a double die do know of this one. This one is an extremely valuable variety that can be found while coin searching. Currently, there are only around 33 known examples, and they have all been found while coin searching. Now, examples on these trade anywhere from super low grade from a few $1,000 all the way up to $126,000 a piece. The example that you're looking at sold well over $80,000 in a heritage coin auction. Now we are taking a look at a 1970S San Francisco Mint 1970S double die obverse. Now this one, when you're taking a look at it, the doubling is a lot more difficult to see on the date, although you can see it. It's much more minor, but if you look over on Liberty, you can see it pretty strong. Also up on In God We Trust. Now, if you're lucky enough to find one of these, circulated examples typically run between $300 and upwards of $1,200, while uncirculated examples can run between $1,300 and all the way up to $37,000. Okay, now we're going to take a look at yet another very popular one. This is the 1972 double die obverse. This is the type 1. There are a lot of different 1972 double dies. Type 1 is one of the most popular. It's very strong double die, clear doubling on the date, on Liberty, on In God We Trust, basically the entire obverse of the coin. Now, if you do find one of these while you are coin searching, these ones will run you anywhere in circulated condition from about $50 to $300. However, uncirculated examples, and you can find these in uncirculated rolls, will run anywhere between $300 and all the way up to $22,000 for an example. Okay, we are going to take a look at yet another 1972 double die obverse. This one is the type 4. This is the scarcest and rarest of the 1972 double dies, and the collectors absolutely love this one. Now, this is a much more minor double die than what we just looked at, and well, pretty much minor compared to the rest of the double dies in this video. However, this one does carry nice value, and I strongly encourage everyone to look for it. You can see doubling pretty strong on Liberty, pretty much on the L, the B, all across Liberty you can find it. Again, it's not going to be as severe as the Type 1, and you can also find it up on In God We Trust and much more minor on the date as well. Now, if you do happen to find one of these, circulated examples start out at around $250 and trade upwards of $650, while uncirculated examples start at around $700 and trade upwards of $7,000 a piece. Now we are going to take a look at the 1982D Denver Mint 1982D small date struck on copper bronze. In 1982, they switched up the metal mix that they use for the Lincoln Cent. Now, there are a bunch of different varieties for the 1982. However, the rarest one, and so far there's only one known example, is the 1982 that features the small date. To be able to tell the difference, you're going to want to take a look at the 2 in the date. On a large date, the 2 is going to be thick and fat, and it's going to be straight to the base. On a small date, the 2 is going to be thin and delicate, and it's going to have a curve where it meets the base. So you're going to need it to be a small date, a 1982 small date with the Denver mint mark, and it needs to weigh 3.1 grams. Now, all of the 1982D small dates should be struck on zinc, and they should weigh 2.5 grams. However, one of them so far that is known was struck on copper bronze, which was the planchet that was supposed to be used prior to 1982. So make sure you weigh them and make sure it has the small date. Now, if you do find one of these, the only example that is known sold in auction for over $18,000. So if you find one of these, $18,000 is your baseline of value. Okay, now we are going to take a look at the 1992 and the 1992D Close AM Lincoln Cent Variety. 1992D and 1992 Close AM. If you take a look at the reverse in the word America, it should have a wide AM. It should have a nice clear separation. However, some of them left the mint and they were accidentally struck with the reverses that were intended to be used on the proof examples. They were not made for business strike. They were not made for circulation. And some of them got struck with that reverse. So if you are lucky enough to find one of those and to spot it, you want to take a look at the A and M on the reverse. If it is close and just about touching, you might have one. And you also want to pay attention to the FG, the designer's initials, down on the right side of the Monticello building. So take a look at both of those. Now, there are a lot of different databases. I will link you to places that you can find further information so that you know exactly what it is that you're looking for. But if you are lucky enough to find one of these, a 1992 Close AM in circulated conditions is going to trade for upwards of around $1,000. However, uncirculated ones are going to trade for between $4,700 and upwards of $26,000. Whereas the 1992D Close AM in circulated conditions will also trade for $1,000 or $2,000, but uncirculated examples will trade for around $2,700 and upwards of $8,500. Okay, now we are taking a look at a 1942 D over D over D, or otherwise known as D over horizontal D Jefferson nickel. So this is on a Jefferson nickel. So you are going to want to turn your nickel over and take a good look at the reverse. You want to locate that D mint mark and pay very close attention to it. You should be seeing some images of a close-up of the D over the horizontal D. Now, if you do find one of these circulated examples, they start out at around $60 for really low grade, and higher grade circulated examples can trade upwards of $1,000, while uncirculated examples, they tend to trade between $1,300 and upwards of $15,000. Now we are taking a look at a 1949 D over S, 1949 Denver Mint Jefferson nickel. This is a D over S, an over mint mark. So again, you want to flip it over, take a good look at that reverse, locate the D mint mark, and you want to see if it has been struck over top of an S mint mark. This is a very, very popular and very collectible OMM or over mint mark. So if you are taking a look at this one and you happen to find one of these circulated examples, now they start out at around $25 and only trade upwards for around $200. But it's the uncirculated examples that the price goes through the roof. Uncirculated examples, they start out at around $200 and they can trade all the way up to $42,500 for an example. Okay, we are going to take a look now at a 1966 Roosevelt dime. Now this one, you're not really going to find this one in pocket change, although I'm sure people have tossed a few of them in. But this one is with the special mint sets, the SMS sets. And the special mint sets for 1966 are kind of common. You can walk into just about any coin shop and buy one of those sets for a few bucks. So this one I decided to add onto it, and this one is also a discovery coin from Robert Lawson. Now this is a 1966 dime that features a 5 on the cheek. So it has a 5 on the cheek. Now Robert has found a few of these, and I do know a couple others have turned up. So on this one, you want to pay close attention to Roosevelt's cheek. You should be able to see an extra 5. Now, circulated examples of this have traded between $500 and $1,000 a piece. And currently there is an uncirculated example that is listed on eBay for just around $2,500. So there's a good baseline for you. Make sure you check for these. Now we are also going to take a look at a 1982 No P dime. Now I do know that in circulated condition, this is not a very valuable one, but in uncirculated, it is. There's just not a whole lot to look for with the Roosevelt dimes that carry any kind of substantial value. So I did want to include this one. So you are going to want to take a look at the 1982 dimes, and you're going to want to look for the mint mark on the obverse. They all should have a mint mark on the obverse, the front of the coin, for 1982. If you find one without it, well, then you just found a 1982 No P dime. So if you do find one of these circulated examples, they tend to trade between $20 and upwards of $150. However, uncirculated examples, they tend to trade between $200 and upwards of $2,500. Now we are taking a look at a 1937 double die obverse Washington quarter. So on this one, you are going to want to pay attention to the front of the coin, and you are going to find nice, strong doubling on the date, on the motto, "In God We Trust," and up on Liberty. This is a very strong double die, and this one is very popular. Now, circulated examples, they start out at around $200 to $235, and they can trade upwards of around $2,000. While uncirculated examples, they start out at around $2,000, and they can trade upwards of $26,000 a piece. Now we are taking a look at a 1942 D, or Denver Mint, Washington quarter, 1942 D. This one is also a double die obverse. So again, you are going to want to pay attention to the front of the coin. Now on this one, when you are taking a look at the doubling, you are going to notice that you can see split serifs, but it's also going to make the coin look like it has very fat, thick letters. This one is just a really cool double die. It's very popular amongst the collectors. And if you happen to find one of these circulated examples, they tend to trade between $130 and upwards of $2,000, while uncirculated examples, they tend to trade between $2,000 and upwards of $8,000 an example. Okay, now we are taking a look at a 1943 double die obverse Washington quarter. So this is a 1943 double die. Now there are a few different double dies for the 1943 with Washington quarters. This one is listed as FS 103. This is type 3 with the double dies. Now this one, strong doubling, can be seen on the date, on the motto, "In God We Trust." And of course, you can find nice strong doubling up on Liberty. This is a very strong double die and a very, very popular one amongst the collectors. So if you happen to find one of these, and these ones are very valuable, they start out at around $1,000 for a low grade example, and they trade upwards of $6,500, and that's just for circulated examples. Uncirculated examples, they tend to trade between $10,000 and upwards of $23,500 a piece. So there you go. There are some very valuable varieties that you can find in your pocket change while coin searching. Now, I do know some of the quarters that I mentioned are silver, and not too much silver does turn up. However, there are a bunch of silver hoarders who watch these videos. So pull out your silver quarters and check for some of those double dies. Now, if you enjoyed this video, do us a huge favor. Hit that thumbs up button. While you're at it, leave me a comment. Let me know what your favorite double die or favorite variety is. Now, I did miss some varieties. There are some very valuable varieties out there that I didn't even bring up. I didn't even bring up like the 1974D aluminum cent that's worth well over $1 million. So let me know what your favorite high dollar variety is down in the comments below. Let me know. I'll definitely respond to you. I'll even talk about some of my favorite ones. Now, just a heads up, CoinOp is almost at 100,000 subscribers. At the time of this video, we're only about 700 subscribers away. So if you are not yet subscribed to CoinOp on YouTube, click that subscribe button. And while you are at it, click on the notification bell. That way you get notified immediately when we upload new content. Well, everyone, until next time, have fun.